Hello friends, how are you once again? Today I'm gonna do a video on the calculation of the control transformer in HVAC and refrigeration, and how to size them in their proper minimum VA ratings. So I have three problems and three solutions for sure. Here's another break with the multiple choice questions. Is that I'm gonna do some calculation instead. Okay, so starting right away with sample problem number 1. Calculate the minimum VA requirements for 24 volts AC controls transformer that can safely supply power to 4 thermal expansion valves (TXVs) with a resistance of 150 ohms across each heater. So first, we need to analyze our given. Given is the voltage of the control, which is 24 volts. Right there, 24 volts AC controls transformer, and the other given is the resistances of the 4 heaters, which is 150 ohms each. Okay, it's right there, 150 ohms each heater. Okay, then the solution has 3 steps. Okay, so starting with step number 1. Step number 1 is to solve for R, which is the total resistance of all the 4 heaters that are connected in parallel. So the formula for the total resistance of resistors connected in parallel is 1 over quantity of 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 plus 1 over R3 plus 1 over R4. So we substitute our R1, R2, R3, R4 right there, each of them 150 ohms each. So then we get we get R is equal to 1 over quantity of 1 over 150 plus 1 over 150 plus 1 over 150 plus 1 over 150. So there's 4 of them. So we get R is equal to 1 over 0.0067 plus 0.0067 plus 0.0067 plus 0.0067. Simplifying, we get R is equal to 1 over 0.0268, and so we get the total resistance of the circuit as 37.3 ohms. Then we move on to step number 2, is to solve for I, the total current of all the loads. So I is equal to V over R. I is equal to 24 volts, which we are given, and divided by 37.3 amps, which we calculated above. And so we get the total current equal to 0.64 amps. Okay, now we move on to step 3 and calculate for the minimum VA size rating of the control transformer. So we just multiply the volts times amps. Volts equals 24 volts we are given, and the 64 amps we calculated above right there. So then we get 15.4 amperes VA. Sorry, this should be V. Sorry about that. Yes, save it, save. Yeah, so that's the final answer to the problem, is 24 volt VA size of the control transformer minimum is equal to 15.4 VA. Okay, then we move on to sample problem number 2. A 24 volt refrigeration control transformer secondary side supplies power to operate the following loads with given current draws. So load number 1 is a relay with 0.35 amps. Number 2 relay 0.35 amps, and a contactor with 0.5 amps. So solution, let me see how many steps. There's 2 steps. Step 1 is to calculate I, total amperage draw of all loads. So I is equal to 0.35 plus 0.35 plus 0.5 is equal to 1.2 amps. So we just added these 3 loads here above, 35.35 and 0.5, giving us a total of 1.2 amps total current draw. Okay, then now we got our amps. Now we go to determine the minimum VA size rating of the control transformer. VA is equal to volts times amps. So we just multiply 24 times 1.2. 24 we are given here. That's the 24 volt control transformer. And the amps we are also given, and we calculated the total amps 1.2. So we just multiply 24 times 1.2 is equal to 28.8 VA. Okay, that's the minimum VA rating size of the control transformer. Then we move on to the third problem. Save it. Okay, so problem number 3. Calculate the minimum size VA rating of a control transformer for a heating, ventilating, and air conditioning HVAC unit that has a 24-volt controlled system having the following loads. So this is a 24-volt system. It has 5 loads. One is a building controller with 12-volt amperes. Second load is a humidity sensor, 4-volt amperes. Third load is humidity sensor number 2, 4-volt amperes, and D, electronic transducer, 5-volt amperes, and the fifth load, pneumatic transducer, 5-volt amperes. So in this case, we are already given that volt amperes for the loads, and so the solution is pretty straightforward. We just add up all the given VAs of all the loads. So we have VA total is equal to 12 plus 4 plus 4 plus 5 plus 5. We got 30 volt amperes minimum VA size rating of the control transformer. Yeah, so it's just adding this 5 given loads above, 12, 4, 4, 5, and 5. So just get the sum of all the loads of VA loads. So we arrive at 30 VA. Okay, so I hope you have learned something from this calculation sample problems. If there's any question, please provide it in the comments. I will try my best to answer them. Okay, happy reviewing, and wish you all the best in your Red Seal exam. Okay, cheers and have a good one.